I'm finally back from vacation and we've got a huge update for DC Dark Legion. This update is going to be mostly quality of life changes, but there are some significant changes that are coming to the game. Let's jump into the patch notes and we'll go through everything line item. So the first thing is not really quality of life, it's actually a new kind of game mode or way to collect items in the game. It's called the Monitors Mementos, and we can actually jump into it in just a second and see a little bit about how it's going to work. But basically, you're going to complete your daily quest each day, and there's also going to be some limited time events that you'll be able to compete in to earn mementos boxes. There's probably going to be certainly a pay to win element to it where you can buy packs. So I'm kind of looking at it as potentially like a Pokemon pack ripping type thing. But you'll open them, you'll obtain random mementos. You can trade those mementos with other players. Basically, there's like a system where you can favorite certain ones and people can send those to you if they have duplicates. If you collect all of the mementos in a set, you'll be able to unlock some pretty good rewards for doing so. And then you're also going to be getting trophies. So maybe we're going to be getting some sort of trophy room where you can show those off. So let's look at the memento system. So go over here to our side menu and you can open it up, Batcave Confidential Files. There are some limited items and they kind of look like comic books. So it's really cool the way they have this set up. But if you complete the limited set here, the Batcave Confidential Files, you're going to get these rewards up in the top left. But then you're also, if you click on each of the comics or the collections, you're also going to complete the mini sets and you're going to get rewards for those as well. So you can click on these, you can replace your wish. So again, the one that you can get someone to send over to you. It says that this is found in memento boxes. So if we back out of here, we can go to the wish list, and I've just selected the silliest one that I could find, which is this hyena with a banana costume on it. But you can see that other people have set wish lists as well, and once you have mementos, you'll be able to send those to others. And then we just have our standard set here, which I think is going to just kind of be sitting there for you to collect and fill out. Go to store, and we can see that you basically can earn duplicate points by selling your duplicate mementos, and then you're going to be able to purchase additional memento boxes that you can open up using those duplicate points. I'm still not sure how I feel about the memento system. It seems like a neat little addition. I don't think it's going to change how you play the game. Like, it's not going to give you a massive advantage over other players, but those rewards are quite nice. So I'm sure a lot of people are going to want to try to earn as many of those as possible. The next change that they've made, they're continuing to make iterative changes to the world map and the crisis response. And they have this new feature called Search and Gather. And it is going to require crisis response level 7, so you will need at least probably a couple of weeks on your account before you're going to hit that point. Refreshing crisis tasks is now going to have a chance to trigger special search and gather missions. You can invite your league members to help speed that up. And once a search is complete, the initiator will share surprise chests with their league. In addition to the search and gather missions, they've also made some additions to the world map with new challenges. It's a little bit vague in the patch notes exactly what that is, but if we go over to our world map, you'll see that we have a dark portal that has opened up on the screen, and also you can see a couple of these search and gather missions. So I'm going to go ahead and join one of these, and you're just going to join it like you typically would any other crisis response. We'll initiate that. It looks like it goes for an hour. I'm definitely not going to complain about another way to earn rewards. Now we can go to the portal here, and basically it's just going to be some additional kind of, I would view these as kind of like training simulator missions where you'll be able to fight. And I've been asking for more ways to use my champions, so I'm really happy that they've added this in. I will say this is a lot of these are going to be super easy for someone who is later, like late game. So for us that are soft launch and global launch players, you're going to be able to blast through this. Whales are just going to blast through it. But I think it's a really good change for early game and mid game players to have an additional way to chase rewards. Now we'll back out of this and I'll show you the rewards. So here's the milestones in the bottom left, and you're going to be able to earn energy keys and champions, and it looks like they're going to offer 12 mythic champions that you can earn. So if you don't have them unlocked already, you'll be able to earn that first unlock through this. So Aquaman, Batgirl, Robin, Shazam, Bane, Arsenal, Two-Face, Penguin, Raven, Black Canary, Flash, and Crypto. And you're also going to be able to get some pretty nice in-game rewards like AC/DC shards, quantum components, and fire pit afterburners. So really nice additional rewards that they're offering as part of the Dark Portal milestones. And again, I think just like a really good iterative addition to the game. It's not going to be something that you're going to do a ton. Like, I imagine a lot of people are just going to max it out as quickly as they can if you're a late game player, but nobody's going to turn down an additional 120 mythic shards for sure. All right, so the next change is going to be to the Armory, and Armory upgrades are no longer going to require building blocks. If you have been playing the game for a while, you'll know that in order to upgrade the Armory, it doesn't quite work like all the other base buildings. You have to basically create or craft gear, and then you have to destroy that gear to get building blocks, and then you can use those building blocks to upgrade the Armory. They are removing that in favor of a system where when you craft gear, you're going to earn Armory XP, and as you get to specific milestones with your Armory XP, you'll be able to upgrade the Armory. So there's not going to be a resource that is required to upgrade the Armory. Now, you still will be able to deconstruct gear and get those building blocks. The deconstruction starts at Armory level 10, so you will have to have played the game for a little while before you're going to get access to it. And it looks like they definitely refunded building blocks. I can show you I got about 720,000 building blocks back from all of my Armory upgrades that I've made. I'm at fully max 35. But it looks like there's going to be a new feature called Building Block Fusion that's coming soon, and so I guess there's going to be some new way to use those building blocks. You can use building blocks to obtain mirror cells. If we go to our Armory and go to craft, you can see that you can use your building blocks to obtain mirror cells. I personally am holding off on spending any of the building blocks just because typically when they announce that a new system is coming, they're probably going to have some way to drain those resources, and I want to make sure that I'm prepared for whatever's coming next here. In the past, like in the landscape version of the game, there was a much more robust system for enhancing gear than what we have. We didn't have the transmute system specifically. We had different ways that you could augment your gear, and I'm curious if they're going to be bringing some more of that back. So definitely stay tuned, and we'll cover that whenever it comes out. The next big update is to combat cycle, and they say improvements, but I will say I think there are some buffs coming to some of the combat cycle bosses. There are a couple of maybe not necessarily nerfs, but some things that will make life easier for you on a couple of bosses. So the Devastator's skill type, basically the Devastator's AoE damage ability, it can now trigger the counterattack effect of Martian Manhunter's ultimate. So that means that your Outsiders, and specifically Martian Manhunter, his ultimate is going to do a decent amount more damage to the Devastator. So I'm interested in jumping in and trying him out there. For the Merciless, each wave of monsters is going to have a lower HP growth. So as the new waves come in, they're going to have less health, but they're going to have more attack. What that means is you're probably going to have to do more work to try to time your AoE, and as soon as that wave comes in, you want to be able to kill it as quickly as possible, because they're probably going to be able to do massive amounts of damage and wipe your team out. For Dawnbreaker, the Green Claw is now going to have a higher max HP, but it will take more spiritual damage. So your spiritual damage dealers are going to be much more important for the Dawnbreaker boss. I know that I'm sure they probably saw some of the combat cycle results where physical damage dealers were just able to basically brute force that boss, and that's probably why they made this change. Now, the other big thing, and I've seen this happen with Nightwing, while the Dark Zone is active, Dawnbreaker can't be targeted. In auto mode, you can see that Nightwing would just jump back and basically keep fighting Dawnbreaker rather than attacking the Claw. And I think some other champions would do the same thing. If you were using Captain Cold would focus his ultimate on Dawnbreaker instead of the Claw. I appreciate that change. It's kind of forcing you to deal with the mechanic, but I definitely think that champions like Sinestro are going to be much more important now for the Dawnbreaker. Probably your Justice League Dark is going to be a really good option there. There's just several champions that are going to have to take a back seat just because they deal physical damage. But I do still think that if you've got high investment on some of those champions like Superman, Nightwing, probably even Supergirl, you're definitely going to be able to continue to use them on the boss. And then it looks like they've adjusted the daily milestones. So they've adjusted the point thresholds for certain levels in phase 2. As you can see, there are 4 reward levels for phase 2, and the rewards that you're getting are still the same. It's just they've adjusted the point levels to be able to get to each of those reward levels. Moving on, and I'll cover both of these at the same time. Training Sim and Anti-Crime Network have both received updates, and it appears they've made both of them much easier. I've seen that I think 1090, which is kind of one of the first in-game breakpoints for Training Simulator, I think it used to be 5 Deathstrokes and now it's 5 Captain Colds. I know I just finished 1195, which was 5 Deathstrokes. That is now 5 Banes. So they've definitely made some of the early late game Training Simulator a lot easier. And then Anti-Crime Network, I was stuck on level 24 of the Alloy Challenge, for example, and they've now adjusted the requirements so that you'll be able to blast through that much easier now. Like I started doing some of the ACN, and I'll have to spend some time doing that later today, but it's definitely going to be a lot easier to complete those. Something nice that they did add for Anti-Crime Network, you can see some of the strategy for each level. There's like unique traits, the squads who have completed it, so you can kind of see what other people have been using, and then the top progress player is displayed, so you kind of get some bragging rights for doing really well. So I think overall positive changes for early game new players, and mid and late game players who have been struggling to push forward. Ultimately, I don't know what this means for the economy, but one thing that has clearly been a bottleneck recently is the new leveling system for our champions to go from 580 to 610. It's definitely gotten a lot harder to obtain those resources. So I'm thankful that they've made these changes, because that means that we're going to be able to get more stems and XP to be able to level up to 610 a little bit faster. So that's good. I'm curious about the alloys, being able to get more alloys into the game and chips. I've definitely been behind on trying to upgrade my tech research because I've focused on gear. We will definitely monitor all of that and report back as we see how the economy looks in the next few weeks. We talked about the world map changes. They said that they've made some improvements to the early game experience. So if you are a new player, definitely report in and let me know how you feel the early game experience is working for you. And then we have just a few champion improvements and just basic improvements to the game that we can touch on. A couple of items. I don't see any nerfs or buffs to champions, really. It seems they're just kind of adjusting the tooltips for those champions, but they updated the description of Superboy's in the Genes skill. They say that there's no change to its actual effect. They have improved visuals of Mira's ultimate, so it looks a little bit different. And apparently the healing on the ultimate used to occur in 4 stages instead of 8. This change, the same healing is going to happen. It's just going to be less stages that it happens in. So it's possible that this ends up being a slight buff to her kit. Definitely let me know in the comments if you've done any testing with Mira. Let me know how this has changed her. I don't really use her that much anymore, but I'll definitely be testing that out later today or tomorrow. And then it looks like they have updated the next level description of Nightwing's ultimate Darkest Night Strike. I'm not exactly sure whether this ends up being a nerf or not, but I've heard some people say that it could be. I believe that at blue when you upgrade to blue 1, it's supposed to increase the crit amp bonus up to 10%. I don't know if previously it was upgrading that crit amp bonus at every single star level. I know that currently in the game, my Nightwing's crit amp bonus is 10%. If you look at his kit, you can see in the next level description, there's no increase for crit amp here. So it just stays static at that 10% crit damage amp up and 5% crit rate up for each Bat Family ally present. Still significant. So again, I don't know whether if anyone has screenshots complete like immediately prior to the changes here, I would love to see those and see whether there is any sort of like shadow nerf or anything like that. But otherwise, I'm just going to assume it was a visual thing only. They did change coordinated assault rally times, and they're now limited to just 5 minutes and 15 minutes. It used to be that you could do one for like an hour, and I think that's caused a lot of strife in leagues for sure. So they've taken that out. The other big item is the legacy piece Honkin' Huge Hammer, which is Harley's unique legacy item, has been removed from the House of Secrets, so you can't buy it with Magic Eyes anymore. Instead, they're just going to give you the legacy piece as part of the 7-day sign-in bonus if you're a new player. And then for those of us who are not new players, it appears that we're going to be getting it given to us. I don't know when that's going to happen because we didn't get it immediately when the update happened, but I presume it's going to happen at reset today. So probably by the time you see this video, you will already have it in your inbox. If not, be on the lookout for that very soon. And that should cover all of the updates for today. I'm excited to be back. I've already got a couple of other videos lined up for you. We're going to be covering the Superman family as a whole in a video. I've also got a new player focused video for your daily activities, like kind of how I view doing my daily quests. I'm looking forward to getting back into making some more videos over the coming weeks. And if you have not already subscribed, please do so. You'll get notified every time I post a new DC Dark Legion video, and I'll see you in the next one.